Hello and welcome to Wednesday Live with Evie. This is number 70, and today we're talking about what if I enjoy driving through this neighborhood. That'll make more sense in just a little bit. So for those of you who don't know what Wednesday Live with Evie is, it's where I come and I share a topic, a thought, a tip around productivity every single week on Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Evie Burke, and I work with entrepreneurs and I help them take their productivity to a new level. So at the end of the day, they don't have to worry about what didn't I get done today or what do I need to do tomorrow, but instead they can be just completely and utterly present with the people that they choose to spend their non-business hours with. So like I said, today's topic is I enjoy driving through this neighborhood. And this was an aha moment I had in the car yesterday on my way home from somewhere. Because normally when I'm in the car and I'm going to or from somewhere, and I drive through a cute neighborhood or a place with nice houses or cute houses, I think about what it would be like to live there. Does anybody else do that? And, these are some of the things that go through my mind, right? I wonder, what would my commute or how long would it take to visit family or get to family if I lived here? Where would I shop if I lived here? Where would I network? Always the business owner, right? Where would I go to church? What would my husband's commute to his office look like, even though he works from home most of the time? What would his commute look like? All of those things tend to go through my head. And then either I decide, nah, I really wouldn't want to live here, or yeah, that might be a good place to live. What would we have to do to live there? Always planning, right? Always those things going through my head. And today, as I was driving through a neighborhood that I drive through several times a month, and just thinking about how cute the houses were and, how much I enjoyed that they were close to the Fox River and, all of that stuff, I had this thought pop into my mind. And it was, why don't I ever just think about, I enjoy the drive through this neighborhood, or I enjoy driving through this neighborhood? Why is it always like planning and what would it be to live here and would I want to live here and, all of that kind of stuff? And I realized that if I could just enjoy the drive through the neighborhood and just say, I really enjoy driving through this neighborhood, it would change the entire experience. I wouldn't be comparing anymore. I wouldn't be thinking about what I should be doing or shouldn't be doing to maybe get myself into that neighborhood. I would just be able to enjoy the neighborhood, and there'd be so much less judgment around myself, because I wouldn't be judging, what I might need to do to get there. And I wouldn't judge the neighborhood either, right? Like, it would just be, I enjoy the neighborhood, and there wouldn't be this judgment about would I want to live here or, whatever that might look like. And then, because this is how my brain works, I wondered if in our businesses we do the same thing. And hey, Mary, I realized I couldn't see when people were here live. Oh yeah, Mary says, I used to love driving through some of the more upscale neighborhoods in Chicago. Yeah, those are fun to drive through. So I started to wonder if in our business we do the same thing. If we look at someone else's business and we automatically go into, oh, that business is so cool, they're so successful, and immediately think about, oh, I should do that. I should have a program like that, or my business should make that much money, or I should do this, or my business should that. We immediately go into comparison mode, or chasing something that maybe we don't need to be chasing, or doing something that maybe we don't need to be doing in our business. But we're in that comparison mode, and we're looking at, look how eloquently that person talks, or look how funny they are, and how can I be that funny? How can I do that in my business? Instead of taking that step back and really thinking about, is that something that I want to be doing in my business? Is that me? Is that where I would be happy if I could do that? And what if instead of us going into our own heads and doing that comparison, what if we just enjoyed, look at that success that this person is having, and isn't that really great? And look at how great they're doing that presentation, how funny they are, how that's just fabulous for them. And if we could just enjoy watching their success and watching, how the good things that they're doing, how it would take that judgment of they're doing something right or wrong, or we're doing something right or wrong out of the mixture, and we would just get to celebrate them. We'd have so much less envy for other people's businesses because we could see how beautiful and right for them it is, and not feel the need to compare ourselves to them or should all over ourselves, right? And we'd be more easily able to enjoy where we are in our own business, just the way it is, without thinking about how do I turn my business into a business like that, right? And it doesn't mean that we can't learn from them, that we can't notice, oh, they did this really cool and this really cool thing, and wouldn't it be fun if I did that in my business? You can totally do that. It's like when you drive by somebody's house and you're like, oh, I really like that flower. That's a really pretty flower. Let me take a picture of it, or just remember what it is, depending on where you are, right? And maybe I'll go to the garden center later and get that plant and plant it in my yard. It would look really great here. And it's not that we're comparing and saying, oh, their garden is so much better and I wish I had their garden and I'm a sucky gardener, blah, 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 blah. We're not getting caught up in our own story. We're just noticing, hey, there's this one piece, this one thing, this one plant that I really like. And I would really love to have that in my daily experience. So for your business, notice those things, celebrate those things in other people. And if somebody has something that they're doing that you're like, oh, that would be so much fun to do that in my business, then great, do that. See how you can tweak it and make it your own, and do that in your business. Some of the easy things to think about here are the things that maybe you don't like doing. Who has a system around doing social media? I'm thinking social media because Mary's here. Where maybe you really struggle with social media and you look at somebody else and you're like, oh, and it's so easy to them. Talk to them, maybe see what they're doing, see, are they getting help from somebody? And if you're not at a spot where you're really worried about social media right now, just say, hey, that's really great. Look at what they're doing. I watch a lot of YouTubers, and I think it's really cool if they post regularly. And, I notice things here and there that they do that I really admire, and I'm not going to become a YouTuber, right? That's not what excites me. And yeah, exactly what Mary says here. Different people have different gifts and different instincts. And I've noticed in my own business that the times when I've been the most stressed out and the most unhappy and things just didn't ever quite seem to pan out the way I wanted them to was when I was in that comparison mode and I was doing things based off of someone else's mold because, well, that's the way I should do that. If I want a business that's successful, like these are the things I should be doing. And when I stepped away from that and instead looked at what are the things I want to be doing, what are the things that I enjoy, that's when I had the most fun. That's when I was the most excited. And that's when things worked out the best for me, right? So, yeah, did I use some of the knowledge of how to do some of the background things from other people? Yes. So I know how to use my email program. I know how to collect payments and track income and some of those things that I didn't have a natural skill set for, and I went out and I learned them. But then when it came to how did I want to offer my programs, what did I want to include, yes, I looked and I saw what was available out there, but I didn't say, oh, I have to do it this way, or this isn't good enough, so I need to do it this way instead. I just looked at what did I want to do. Mary says I'm good at tech stuff. I am good at tech stuff. I have that computer computer science background, so I tend to pick up on the techie stuff pretty quick, generally. But yeah, so your mission, should you choose to accept it. I don't usually give you missions at the end of Wednesday Lives with Evie, but should you choose to accept this mission, is look at the things that you're doing in your business or in your life and notice if it's something that you're doing because you enjoy it, or if it's something you think you should be doing to get the life or the business or the whatever that you think you should have or you should want. And I think that's really important, because when we're able to notice those things, then we can adjust, right? If you're doing things because you think you should, then you can, when you notice it, you can decide how you want them to look instead, what you would enjoy. And you'll be more productive when you're doing the things that you enjoy instead of the things you think you should be doing, right? And I know just a little shift that made a big difference for me was a couple of years ago. I realized that I didn't really want like the big house with the large bedrooms and every bedroom having an ensuite, whatever, bathroom, right? Those were things that I felt like I should want. You know, I should want the bigger house. I should want the in-ground pool. I should want fill in the blank, right? And when I realized that that wasn't really what I wanted, that I was really happy in the house that we currently have, and if anything were to change, like I would be happy in a cottage in the middle of nowhere, because that's something that I just love that. That's so close to how I grew up, you know, the edge of town with the cornfield on the or whatever that farmer planted that year, you know, on the side of our yard. You know, both my grandparents had farms, and going and visiting them, and like I love that. So just again, look at what it is. Yeah, and Mary says, I want less lawn, I want less cleaning and dusting. Yeah, just know what those things are for you, and know what it is that you want. And if you do want, you know, that big house with all the bedrooms having the in-suite bathrooms, great. That's fabulous. You know, that's what you want. That's great. Enjoy that. So yes, that's all that I have this week for Wednesday Live with Evie. If you're not already in the Facebook group, I would love for you to join us there. It's Productivity for Women Entrepreneurs, and it's just a great group to get that little nudge to remind you what are your priorities this week. So again, if you're not there, I'd love to see you there. And until next week, much love. Bye.